is intangible. Class, our topic for today is intangible assets. This topic is under PAS 38, and PAS 38 defines intangible assets as assets that are identifiable, non-monetary, and without physical substance. Isa-isahin natin yan. First characteristic is identifiable. When you say identifiable, the owner of the intangible asset has legal rights over that intangible asset. So in the Philippines, bago ka magkaroon ng legal right over the intangible assets, kailangan ipa-register mo muna yan sa Intellectual Property Office or IPO. Actually, meron tayong batas specifically for intangible assets. That is the Intellectual Property Code of the Philippines na aralin nyo in RFBT. Okay? Second characteristic is non-monetary. Ang ibig sabihin lang ng non-monetary is hindi siya easily convertible into cash. Yung intangible assets, mahirap ibenta yan. Okay? Unlike monetary, ano example ng monetary? Accounts receivable. For AR, once makolek mo na yan sa customer, cash na yan. Unlike intangible assets, again, mahirap siya i-convert into cash. Right? And third characteristic is without physical substance. Kaya tinawag siyang intangible, meaning hindi siya nahahawakan. Unlike PPE, na tangible assets, nahahawakan naman yung PPE. So yun yung difference ng intangible assets and PPE. So that is the definition of intangible assets. Let's go to measurement. Initial and subsequent measurement. Intangible assets are initially measured at cost. Okay, now, kung ano yung natutunan natin na concepts about costing under PPE, yun lang din yung i-apply natin sa intangible assets. So remember that. Now, initially, paano nga ba ulit yung costing? Purchase price plus directly attributable costs. When you say directly attributable costs, these are costs necessary for the intangible assets' intended use. Basta necessary for the intended use of the intangible assets, i-capitalize natin yan. Di ba? Yun yung natutunan natin sa PPE. Again, kung ano yung concepts na natutunan natin sa PPE, yun lang din yung i-apply natin sa intangible assets. Now, subsequently, every December 31, we can measure intangible assets at cost or revaluation model. Pero in practice, cost model na talaga yung ginagamit. Kasi mahirap i-implement yung revaluation model because mahirap ma-determine yung fair value of intangible assets. Okay? Now, under cost model, we know, ang presentation yan in the balance sheet, cost minus accumulated amortization minus accumulated impairment, you get the carrying amount or carrying value or book value. Parang PPE lang din. Yung term lang yung nagkaiba. Instead of depreciation, ang ginagamit for intangible assets is amortization. But the concept is the same. Okay? So, sa PPE, meron tayong depreciation. Sa wasting assets, meron tayong depletion. Sa intangible assets, meron tayong amortization. Okay? Now, when you do amortization for intangible assets, usually class, the residual value is equal to 0. Okay? Bakit, sir? Kasi again, mahirap ma-determine yung fair value of intangible assets. That's why, usually, the residual value is equal to 0 for intangible assets. Okay, now, para mas maliwanag, let's go to the specifics. So, we have 5 major intangible assets and then later, meron tayong others. So, yun yung minor intangible assets. Okay, let's start with number 1, patent. So, kung gawin natin class, isulat na natin yung definition and then later meron akong example. Okay? Patent. Patent gives an inventor the right to prevent other people from using or selling an invention. Okay? So, ito yung purpose of the patent. So, basahin natin class. Gives an inventor the right to prevent other people from using or selling an invention. So, basically, merong invention, okay? And para ma-protect yung inventor, okay? Para ma-prevent yung ibang tao to use or to sell that invention, kailangan ng patent. Okay? So, again, para magkaroon ka ng patent, kailangan ipa-register mo yan sa Intellectual Property Office. Okay? So, once ma-register mo yan, protected ka na from other people. Okay? So, now, let's have an example. Let's say, class, yung Pfizer COVID vaccine. Ayan. Pfizer COVID vaccine. Obviously, si Pfizer, naka-invent siya or naka-formulate siya ng vaccine. Now, yung ibang pharmaceutical companies, hindi pwedeng basta-basta gamitin or yung formulation or ibenta yung vaccine ni Pfizer. Okay? Kasi patented yan. Okay? Protected si Pfizer dyan. Ang pwedeng gawin ng ibang companies, mag-formulate sila ng sarili nila or mag-invent sila ng sarili nilang vaccine. Okay? So, that's how patents work. Now, before you can create a patent, kailangan mag-incur muna tayo ng research and development costs or R&D. Okay? Very important yan. Now, for R&D, usually we have 3 phases. Phase 1, Phase 2, and Phase 3. So, sinulat ko na yung mga activities under each phase, but tingnan natin. First phase is the research phase. Okay, research. Parang pag nagre-research tayo sa school, discovery of new knowledge. Right? Ang kasama din dyan is, mag-stick na tayo dun sa COVID vaccine na example natin. Okay? So, example is studies of related vaccine. If you remember, di ko alam kung buhay na kayo noon, pero noong 2002, merong parang COVID noon. Ang pangalan is SARS. Alright? So, yung SARS, pag inaral mo yon, yung mga scientists na nakadiscover ng vaccine, aralin nila yung SARS, aralin nila yung vaccine na nag-treat dun sa SARS. Okay, example yun ng research activity. Alright? Next is lab research or laboratory research. And next is clinical testing. For example, class, merong initial na vaccine. Okay? Pwedeng i-test muna yan sa limited number of people. Let's say 10 people muna. Okay? Titignan kung effective or kung may mga side effects. Okay? So these are some examples of research activities. Tandaan mo, class, from the accounting standpoint, all research activities are charged to expense. Expense lahat yan. Tandaan mo yan. 100%. Walang kinakapitalize na research activity. 100% expense. Sir, bakit ganun? Because for research activities, wala pang probable future economic benefits. Uncertain pa kung makaka-develop talaga tayo ng vaccine. And alam natin sa accounting, before ka mag-recognize ng asset, dapat merong probable future economic benefits. Since uncertain pa lahat, and to be conservative, lahat ng research activities, charged to expense. Gets? Okay. Let's go to the next phase, which is the development phase, or the development stage. When you say development, basically, yan na yung application of research or application ng mga findings natin from the research. Ang pinaka-important concept class sa development stage is the technical or technological feasibility. Very important yan. Underline mo yan. When you say technical or technological feasibility, ibig sabihin, most likely, makakapag-formulate na tayo ng vaccine. Most likely, effective yung vaccine natin. Yun yung ibig sabihin niya. Right? Ano pa yung example of development activities? Prototypes or models. So, ibig sabihin, yun yung mga initial formulation natin. What else? Mass testing. Kung kanina sa clinical testing natin, 10 people lang yung tinetest natin. Sa mass testing, sabihin natin hundreds or even thousands yung tinetest natin. Alright? Ano pa? FDA approval or the Food and Drug Administration. Yun yung regulatory agency for medicines in the Philippines. So usually sa development stage, pinapa-approve na natin yan. And legal cost and registration, again, sa natin nire-register sa Intellectual Property Office. Now, kung sa research stage, expense lahat. Sa development stage naman, class, ulat mo to, can be capitalized. Can be, okay, capitalized. Capitalized. Okay, can be. Ibig sabihin, pwede. Alright? Pwede siya kapag na-meet niya yung requirements for capitalization criteria na naka-enumerate under PAS 38. Pero take note, very strict yung criteria na yun. Later, makikita natin yung sa mga theory questions. But again, tanda mo lang, sa development stage, pwedeng i-capitalize. Pero dapat explicit sa problem na na-meet yung capitalization criteria or sabihin doon na merong technical or technological feasibility. So, ulitin ko, class. Sa research, expense lahat. Bawal mag-capitalize. Sa development activities, pwede, pero very strict. Okay? So now, pag sa problem, ang nakalagay lang, R&D or research and development, expense yan. Okay? Dapat may qualification na na-meet yung criteria na mag-capitalize, doon ka lang mag-capitalize. Pag silent, R&D lang yung nakalagay sa problem, expense. Alright? Now, third stage natin, class, is the production. So imagine, meron na tayong vaccine. Okay? Pwede natin siyang i-produce. Okay? Meron ng commercial products or distribution. Ibig sabihin, i-distribute natin sa mga hospitals, ano pa, sa mga clinics, sa mga pharmacies, para ma-inject na yung mga vials yan, di ba? Mga vials. So, ini-inject yan sa mga tao. Production na yan. Now, pag production na, tandaan mo, class, consider din as inventory. Alright? And pag inventory, we know, PAS2 yung magpe-prevail dyan. Lower of cost or NRV. Alright? So, leading ko, research expense. Development cost, pwedeng i-capitalize. Pero strict requirements. Pag silent, expense. Pag production na, meron talaga tayong produkto, okay? Inventory na yan or PAS2 na yan. Okay? So, yan. Yung mga kailangan nyo tandaan for patent. Now, sagot muna tayo ng handouts before we move on to the other types of intangible assets. Okay. So, let's proceed to illustrative example number 1. Illustrative example number 1. This is about patent. Tingnan natin, class, yung requirement. Compute the following. R&D charged to expense. R&D to capitalize, cost of patent, and so on and so forth. Let's read the given. Pinnacle company started a research and development project on a new product. Again, mag-R&D ka para eventually magkaroon ka ng product. Okay? And along the way, magkakaroon ka ng patent. Okay? Yun yung objective dyan. Started the research and development project on January 1. Total cost incurred before reaching technological feasibility. Ano ibig sabihin ng class? Before ka daw magkaroon ng technological feasibility. Ibig sabihin, research phase yan. Okay, kasi technological feasibility, development stage na yan. Research phase pa yan. So, ibig sabihin, class, amounted to 4 million. Yung 4 million na yan, expense yan. Lagay mo dyan, expense. While development cost after reaching technological feasibility amounted to 5 million. Pwede mo na i-capitalize yan kasi meron ng technological feasibility. Prior to commercial production, ito yung commercial production, the entity paid legal and registration fees amounted to 1 million in filing for a patent. Kapag nagpa-file ka na o nagre-register ka na sa IPO, pwede ka na mag-capitalize sa patent. So, ganun yung class. So, tingnan mo, journalize muna natin. Journal entry, January 1, 2025. Okay? So, yung 4 million na tayo. Yung 4 million, again, si charge natin sa expense yan because considered yan as research activity. Debit R&D expense, credit cash, 4 million. Okay, doon naman tayo sa 5 million. 5 million, again, pwede natin siyang i-capitalize. Debit development cost, which is an intangible asset, credit cash, 5 million. Doon mo siya i-charge development cost, intangible asset yan. Okay? Now, next paragraph, prior to commercial production, the entity paid legal and registration fees amounting to 1 million. Kapag nag-file ka na, nagre-register ka sa IPO, patent mo na i-charge yan. Okay? Debit, patent, credit cash, how much? 1 million. Alright, next, early in January 2026, an additional amount of 2 million was incurred to develop the product to full manufacturing stage. Well, since nakakapag-capitalize na tayo sa development cost, pwede mo pa rin i-capitalize yan. Debit development cost, which is an intangible asset, credit cash, that is 2 million. Next, however, the patent was approved in early January 2026 and valid for 20 years. And by the way, class, again, for patent and intangible assets, ina-amortize natin yan. So, tingnan mo natin, class, ano yung rules for amortization of patent. Amortization, class, tandaan mo lang na ina-amortize natin yung patent over the useful life or the legal life, whichever is shorter. Useful life, estimate yan ni management kung ilang years natin tayo mag-benefit from the patent. Legal life, well, basically, in the Philippines, ang legal life of the patent is 20 years. According to in the Intellectual Property Code of the Philippines. According sa batas yan. The legal life is 20 years. So, useful life or legal life, whichever is shorter, yun yung rules na i-apply natin for amortization. Okay, balik tayo dito, class. Okay, now, the patent was approved in early January 2026 and valid for 20 years, which is basically yung legal life niya. Okay? However, the entity expected technological advancements will render the new product virtually obsolete by December 31, 2030. The entity decided to account separately any capitalized development costs. Okay, so let's continue the journal entries. Okay na tayo sa research, sa development, and sa patent. Now, mag-amortize tayo, class. So, December 31, let's compute for the amortization. So, ang gagawin ko dyan, dalawa yung i-amortize ko. Yung development cost and yung patent. Dito natin compute. For the development cost, how much yan? 5 million plus 2 million, that's 7 million. 7 million, i-divide natin by ilang years yan? Well, yung useful life and legal life. Legal life, 20 years. Tama? Yung useful life, sabi dyan, tama ba sa last paragraph, class? Hanggang December 31, 2030 lang daw. Okay? Kailan tayo nakapag-capitalize? January 2026. 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 5 years, yun yung useful life. Ano sabi ko kanina? Useful life or legal life is every shorter, therefore, amortize natin over 5 years. Okay? 7 million divided by 5, yung amortization natin ng development cost is 7 million divided by 5, 1.4 million. And then, i-amortize din natin yung patent. So, yung patent natin is 1 million. I-divide natin by 5, that is 200,000. Okay? So, i-total natin ang amortization, 1.4 million plus 200, that's 1.6 million. Debit amortization expense, credit accumulated amortization, 1.6 million. Actually, class, pwedeng ang gawin mo dyan, diretso credit mo, development cost o kaya patent. Pwedeng hindi accumulated amortization yung gamitin mo. Acceptable din yun. Okay? Now, para maging consistent tayo sa PPE, di ba sa PPE, accumulated depreciation, ganoon din gawin natin sa intangible assets, accumulated amortization. Anyway, so these are the journal entries. Now, para mas ma-visualize yung class, ganito yung presentation niya sa balance sheet. Sa balance sheet, merong intangible assets doon na presented as non-current asset. Okay? Makikita mo doon, merong development cost na how much yan? 5 million plus 2 million, 7 million, minus accumulated amortization for the development cost, which is 1.4 million. And then meron tayong patent na 1 million, minus accumulated amortization, 200,000. Okay, yun yung presentation sa balance sheet. Now, the carrying amount, computing natin, class, 7 million, minus 1.4 million, plus 1 million, minus 200,000, carrying amount mo dyan is 6.4 million. Alright? So, this is how you present this in the balance sheet. But anyway, basahin natin, class, tignan natin yung questions. Number 1, R&D charge to expense. Sagot mo dyan, class, sa number 1. Ano yung expense natin? 4 million. Sagot mo dyan, 4 million. Number 2, research and development cost to be capitalized. So, that's 5 plus 2, that's 7 million. Number 3, cost of patent, that is 1 million. Number 4, amortization of intangible assets, 1.6 million. And then journal entries, ayan, ginawa natin yung journal entries. Okay? Ayan. So, that's how you do patent. Okay, so let's go to illustrative example number 2. Practice pa tayo, class, ng journal entries for the patent. Tingnan natin yung requirement. Requirement is prepare the journal entries from 2025 to 2028 in connection with the patent, including the annual amortization. Okay. Sige, so let's read the given. Mr. Accounting Company was granted a patent for an invention on January 1. The cost of licensing, registration, models, and drawings. Iyang class, mga requirement kasi ng Intellectual Property Office yan. So pag ganyan, licensing, registration, models, drawings, kailangan mo i-draw yung produkto mo, capitalizable na yan to patent. Okay? So lagyan natin yung journal entry. So illustrative example number 2. First entry natin, January 1, 2025. Debit patent, credit cash. How much yan? 255,000. Okay, next. On January 1, 2027, the entity paid 90,000 in successfully defending the patent. Well, 2027 na yan. Mag-amortize muna tayo. 12/31, 2026 and 2026. So, walang sinabing useful life sa problem. Ano gagamitin mo? Legal life. Ano ulit yung legal life of the patent? 20 years. So, gagawin ko dyan, 255,000 divided by 20. How much yung amortization natin per year? 255 divided by 20. That is 12,750. So, ibig sabihin, entry natin, debit amortization expense. Credit accumulated amortization, 12,750. Again, pwedeng instead of accumulated amortization, pwede mo i-credit patent. Diretso credit na patent. Acceptable din yan. Okay, next. 12/31/2025 pala yan. So, sa 2026, same entry. Okay, same lang din. Okay, and then next is, ano yung nangyari? January 1, 2027, the second paragraph, the entity paid 90,000 in successfully defending the patent in an infringement suit brought against the entity. Basically, kinasuhan tayo ng kalaban natin, competitor natin, na defend natin successfully. I-charge mo sa expense yan. Huwag mo yan i-capitalize sa patent. Okay? Because kapag yung successful defense na ganyan, more of maintaining the asset instead of enhancing. So since mini-maintain mo lang siya, expense yan. Entry natin yung class, debit legal expense, credit cash, that is 90,000. Okay, let's go to December 31, 2027. Mag-amortize ulit tayo. Debit amortization expense, credit accumulated amortization, again, na-compute natin is 12,750. Next paragraph, on January 1, 2028, the entity paid 510,000 for the acquisition of a competing patent, which is a remaining life of 17 years. Ano ibig sabihin yan? Yung patent ng kalaban natin, ng competitor natin, binili natin para ma-monopolize natin yung product. So, ganun siya. So, pag binili mo siya, again, costing, purchase price, ika-capitalize mo yun sa patent. So, January 1, 2028, debit patent, credit cash, how much? Nasaan yun? 510,000. Tama? 510,000. Okay. And then mag-amortize tayo. December 31, 2028. Now, yung amortization natin, yung original patent natin is 12,750. Yung bagong patent natin na in-acquire natin from our competitor, meron daw siyang remaining life of 17 years. So, divide mo sa 17. 510,000 divided by 17, 30,000. Add natin class. So, yung old natin, 12,750. Yung new, 30,000. So, that's 42,750. Debit amortization expense. Credit accumulated amortization. That is 42,750. Okay? So, yun yung mga journal entries natin. Tignan natin class yung balance sheet. Sa balance sheet, meron tayong intangible assets na presented as non-current assets. Okay, makikita natin doon, meron tayong patent. How much yung patent natin? Well, meron tayong 255 and meron tayong 510. So, 255 plus 510, 765,000. Minus accumulated amortization. Computing nga natin class yung amortization natin. Well, meron tayong 12,750. May isa pang 12,750. May isa pang 12,750. And then, meron tayong 42,750. So, in total na compute ko dyan, 81,000. Okay? Carrying amount, pag tinanong sa problem, carrying amount of the patent, 765,000 minus 81,000, 684,000. Okay? Ayan. So, that's how you do illustrative example number 2. So, class, medyo pa-jump ako. Illustrative example, main problem theory, para maayos yung flow nung pagsasagot natin. So, please bear with me. Pa-jump yung sasagutin natin. Okay, let's go to main problem number 1. Main problem number 1. Sige, sagot tayo ng multiple choice. Apply natin yung concepts. Alright? Tingnan natin class. Okay, what is the carrying value of the patent or carrying amount? On January 1, Cindy developed a new machine that reduces the time required to insert the fortunes into their fortune cookies. Because the process is considered valuable, it had the machine patented. The following expenses were incurred in developing and patenting the machines. Tingnan natin class per item kung ano yung classification niyan. Okay, so main problem number 1. First, research and development, laboratory expenses. Lagay mo dyan, expense. Pag R&D lang yung nakalagay, expense mo yan. Okay? Bago ka makapag-capitalize, dapat nakalagay doon, meron ng technical or technological feasibility. So, expense yung 250. Metal used in construction of the machine. Wala pang sinasabing technical feasibility, expense din yan. R&D expense din yan. Blueprints expenses to design the machine, expense din yan. So, yung first 3 items, R&D expense yan. Legal expense to obtain patent. Oh, related na sa filing and registration yan. Kakapitalize natin yan. So, yung patent natin, tingnan natin yung kung how much yung cost niyan. Well, start tayo with 120,000. Plus, next item, wages and employees work on the research, development, and building of the machine. R&D pa rin yan, expense. Okay? Next, expense of drawing required by the patent office to be submitted with the patent application. Nag-a-apply na tayo, nagpapa-license or nagre-register na tayo. So, ibig sabihin yung class kasi yung drawing required yan by the IPO. Okay? By the Intellectual Property Office. So, capitalizable yan. So, plus 17,000. Next is fees paid to government patent office to process the application. Again, ulit-ulitin ko. Pag related na sa filing, sa application, sa registration, capitalizable na yan. So, 24,500 is capitalizable. Okay, so let's compute 120,000. Plus 17,000, plus 24,500, you get 161,500. Pero ang tanong sa atin, this is as of January 1, 2020. Ang tanong sa ating class, December 31, 2021. Okay, after 2 years, basically. So, mag-amortize muna tayo ng 2 years. So, ganito gagawin ko dyan, class. So, meron akong patent, magti-T account ako dyan. Initially, 161,500 yan. Amortize natin for 2 years. Ilang years ba yung sinabi dito? Uy, walang sinabi. Kung ilang years yung useful life, hindi gagamitin natin yung legal life. 20 years. Divide by 20, 161,500, divide by 20, you get 8,075 per year. After 2 years yung tanong sa atin. So, dalawang 8,075. 161,500 minus 8,075 minus 8,075. Answer mo dito, class, 145,350. Letter B or boy. Ayan. Sagot mo, boy, for number 1. Let's go to main problem number 5. Jump tayo to main problem number 5. So for this problem naman class, mag-apply natin yung concept ng R&D. Okay, so ayan, maganda yung problem na to. Let's go to main problem number 5. Question number 1 is, may 2 questions dyan. How much of the R&D will be expensed in 2021? And then sa question number 2, 2022 naman. Rizal Company is an established computer software company. In 2021, the firm incurred the following costs in the process of designing, developing, and producing a new software program. So lagay natin dito 2021 and 2022. Tingnan natin class kung ano yung how much yung i-charge natin to expense. Okay, meron tayong 4 items. Designing and planning, code development, testing, production of product master, o yun yung mga prototypes. Okay, nakalagay sa second paragraph class, yun mo ha. In 2022, it incurred 1 million in cost to produce a software program. The cost of designing and planning, yun yung naka-enumerate na 4 items. So yung designing and planning daw, code development and testing were all incurred before the technological feasibility of the product was established. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Kapag before, ibig sabihin ng class, research phase pa rin. Pag research phase, expense yan. So how much yun? Yung design and planning, 1 million ha? Ano pa? 1 million plus yung code development, 1.5 million, and then yung testing, 500,000. Okay, sabi, before daw eh. So, expense natin yan. So, how much yung total niyan? 1 million plus 1.5, 2.5 plus 500, that is 3 million. Kaya sagot mo sa question number 1 in 2021, boy, yung sagot mo dyan, 3 million. Now, yung production of product master, prototypes na yan, yun yun. Ibig sabihin, development cost na yan. So, ito lang daw yung expense mo. Ibig sabihin, class, yung 2.5 million, pero may capitalize yan. Alright? 2.5 million. And then, it incurred 1 million in cost. Doon tayo sa second paragraph. It incurred 1 million in cost to produce the software program for sale in 2022. Yung software, mamaya, meron tayong discussion dyan, ha? Pero R&D muna yung focus nito. Okay, now, since meron na tayong software, commercial production na yan, class. Okay? So, lahat ng may incur mo, inventory. Tama ba, class? Yung inventory, pag nabenta mo, cost of goods sold na yan. Okay, so assume natin sa question number 2, isama na natin yung cost of goods sold. So, cost of goods sold is how much? 1 million. Tama? Basahin natin, class. Okay. It began marketing the software program in 2022, earned revenues of 2.4 million. It estimates that total revenues over the 4-year life will be 12 million. At the end of 2022, it was offered 4 million the rights to distribute the software. Okay, now, doon tayo sa question number 2, how much do you expense natin sa 2022? Isama natin yung cost of goods sold na 1 million. What else? So since kinapitalize natin yung 2.5 million as development cost, kailangan natin siyang i-amortize. Okay? So yung amortization natin, ilan years in useful life? Sabi dun sa second to the last sentence, it estimates the total revenues over the 4-year life in useful life. So yung 2.5 million, i-divide natin yung by 4, 2.5 million divided by 4, therefore amortization natin is 625,000. Cost of goods sold na 1 million, amortization expense na 1,625,000. Sagot natin sa 2022 for question number 2, letter A, 1,625,000. Sinama ko na yung cost of goods sold, alright? Sige, so that's how you do main problem number 5. Let's move on to, jump tayo sa theory questions last, no? Theory questions. So, sinulat ko na dito kasi marami-rami yung theory questions natin. So, tingnan mo natin class yung related dun sa na-discuss natin. Let's go to number 1. Which is not a characteristic of an intangible asset? Not a characteristic. A. Asset lacks physical substance, characteristic yan. B. The asset is used in production or supply of goods and services for rental to others or for admin. Hindi yan characteristic. PPE yung boy na yan. Okay, so lagay mo dyan boy for theory number 1. Letter C, the asset provides future economic benefits, yes. The asset has an indeterminate useful life. Pag sinabi mong indeterminate, indefinite, okay? Later, aralin natin ibig sabihin ng indefinite. Pero merong intangible assets na finite yung life. Ibig sabihin ng finite, parang yung patent, 20 years, okay? So, mali yung dog na yan kasi merong intangible assets na indeterminate, meron naman na determinate or finite, okay? So, dalawa sagot class natin for number 1, boy and dog. Okay. Number 2, under PAS 38, which of the following is a criterion that must be met in order for an item to be recognized as intangible asset? A, fair value can be measured reliably. Okay, hindi yan criterion. Okay. Boy, the item is identifiable and lacks physical substance. Yun yung best answer dyan. C, item is expected to be used in the production. Hindi. Item is part of the activities. Mali yan. So, for question number 2, alin daw yung criterion? Tingin ko sa definition. Ang best answer dito, class, is boy. Pag sinabi mong identifiable asset, so pag sinabi mong intangible asset, identifiable yan, meron kang legal rights, and lacks physical substance. Hindi mo nahahawakan. Number 3, an asset meets the identifiability criterion in the definition of an intangible asset when? So ito, FYI na lang to. Pag sinabi mo identifiability, according to PAS 38, it must be separable. Number 1, it is separable, meaning the asset is capable of being separated from the entity and sold, transferred, etc. And then number 2, dapat it arises from contractual or other legal rights. Again, yun nga yung registration sa IPO. When you say identifiable, it must be separable and dapat meron kang legal rights. Letter C for number 3. Number 4, under PAS 38, an intangible asset that was acquired separately shall be initially recognized at cost. Alam natin, initial measurement is cost. Dog for number 4. Number 5, after initial recognition, an intangible asset shall be carried at pwedeng cost, pwedeng revaluation model, letter C yung sagot. Pero again, in practice, cost model yan because mahirap na determine yung fair value of an intangible asset. Number 6, an entity that acquires an intangible asset may use the revaluation model if, only if, boy, an active market exists for the intangible asset. So, ibig sabihin, pag sabi mong active market, parang stock market. Okay? Sa Philippines, wala namang ganun. Hindi mo naman easy na nabibenta yung intangible asset in the Philippines. Kaya again, very hard to implement yan. Okay? Pero iyan yung requirement ng PAS 38 before you can use the revaluation model. There must be an active market for the intangible asset. So, boy for number 6. Now, let's go to number 7. Which of the following should be capitalized when incurred? Alin daw dito yung pwede natin i-capitalize? A. Cost to internally generate goodwill. Mamaya, aralin natin yung goodwill. Pero tandaan mo lang, class, lahat ng internally generated na intangible assets, expense yan. Hindi mo yan kinakapitalize. Boy, filing fees for patent. Yes, again, filing, registration, licensing, capitalizable na yan. C. Organization cost, R&D cost. Pag R&D lang yung nakalagay, expense. Number 8. Which of the following concerning patents is correct? Okay? Actually, none of the above yung sagot dito, no? Isa-isa natin kung bakit, sir, none of the above yan. A. Legal cost incurred to successfully defend the patent should be capitalized. Mali yan. Expense. Kasi kapag successful defense, more of maintaining rather than enhancing the asset. Mali na yan. Boy, legal fees and other direct costs should be capitalized and amortized over 5 years. Walang ganun. 5 years. Kung 20 years, pwede siguro kasi yung legal life. Pero yung walang rule na 5 years. C. R&D purchased from others and used to develop a patent should be capitalized. Expense yan. Dog, R&D incurred to develop a patent should be capitalized and amortized over 17 years. So very random. Walang 17 years na rule. That's why for number 8, mali lahat yan. Okay? Dog, none of the above yung sagot dyan. None of the above for number 8, lahat mali. Okay? Jump tayo dun, class, sa number, so okay na yung 7 and 8. Punta tayo sa number 17. 1-7. The process of assigning the cost of an intangible asset by charges against periodic revenue in systematic and rational manner is called amortization. Parang depreciation lang din, pero ang term na ginagamit for intangible assets, amortization. And usually, straight line method lang ginagamit dyan. Number 18, amortization of intangible assets results primarily from, well, matching principle, letter C. Since yung intangible assets, for example, patent, yung kanina, yung vaccine natin, pag nabenta mo yan, may revenues yan eh. Ano yung related expense doon? Yung amortization ng patent. Kaya nagko-compliant with the matching principle. Number 19, in accordance with GAAP, which of the following methods is normally recommended? Usually, straight line lang yan. Number 19, straight line method for intangible assets. Number 20, which of the following represents the maximum amortization period mandated by GAAP? Actually, pag tihinom yung PS 38, wala talaga. Okay, dun lang sa Intellectual Property Code na merong 20 years. Pero sagot dito, class, dog, no arbitrary cap on the useful life has been established. So usually, depende yan kung sa estimate ni management, kung ilang years time go benefit from the intangible assets. So dog for number 20. Number 21, a purchased patent has a remaining legal life of 8 years. So yung remaining life niya, 8 years na lang daw. It should be, punta ka dun sa C, amortized over its useful life if less than 8 years. So, ibig sabihin doon, useful life or legal life, whichever is shorter. Okay? Number 21, it's letter C. 22, legally speaking, a patent should be amortized over. Punta doon sa dog, useful life or 20 years. 20 years, in yung legal life, whichever is shorter. 22, dog yung sagot natin dyan. Okay. Sige, so, okay na tayo dito. Punta naman tayo, class, sa jump tayo to number, meron pa ba tayong pwedeng sagutan? 29. Okay, number 29. Actually, 26 muna pala. Let's go to number 26. The residual value of an intangible asset should be presumed 0. Tama? 0 kasi mahirap malaman yung fair value niyan eh. Unless, merong exception. By default, 0 yan. Pero may residual value if ma-meet mo yung dalawa na to, which is mahirap ma-meet. Number 1, there is a commitment by third party to purchase the asset at the end of its useful life. Number 2, there is an active market. Again, mahirap yan. So, A yung sagot mo dyan. Both 1 and 2. Number 26, A. So, ang ibig sabihin ng tanong na yan, okay, residual value by default, 0 talaga yan. Pwede kang magkaroon ng residual value if ma-meet mo yung dalawang criteria na yan, which is, in real life, mahirap ma-meet. Okay? Kaya sabi ko kanina, usually, 0 yung residual value. Let's go to number 29. 29. Research and development costs under prevailing practice may be accounted for as follows. Pag R&D, okay, ano ulit yung rule natin? Pag research, expense. Development cost, pwede. Pag na-meet mo yung strict requirements. Pero in general, pag R&D lang yung given sa problem, expense yan. Letter C for number 29. Research and development costs should be expensed as incurred. If silent, expensed. Number 30, the proper accounting treatment incurred in creating software product is, tingnan natin class yung choices. Okay, to capitalize all costs until the software is sold, to capitalize all costs incurred until a detailed program, to charge research and development expense only if the computer software has alternative use. Dog yung pinaka-accurate dito, no? Is for R&D. To charge research and development expense when incurred until technological feasibility has been established. Yun yung pinaka-accurate dyan, dog. Ano ibig sabihin nun, sir? R&D in general expense yan. Pag sinabi sa problem na merong technical or technological feasibility, dun ka palang pwedeng mag-capitalize. Okay? Kaya dog yung sagot natin dyan. Okay, next is number 31. Okay, so 31, according to IAS 38 or PAS 38, In order to be able to capitalize development outlays in an entity, must able to demonstrate the following. Sabi ko sa development cost, can be capitalized pag na-meet mo yung strict requirements sa PAS 38. Ano yung mga strict requirements na yun? Ayun, nandito sa theory number 31. Basahin natin class. Number 1, technical feasibility and intention of completing the asset so it will be available for use or sale. Number 2, its ability to reliably measure the expenditure. Number 3, ability to use or sell the asset. Number 4, how the asset will generate probable future economic benefits. FYI na lang to. Sa PAS 38, dapat lahat yan ma-meet mo before ka mag-capitalize ng development cost. Kaya can be lang yan. Mahirap i-prove to actually. So, kaya usually yung R&D expense yan. But for number 31, boy yung sagot natin. Number 32, which of the following costs related to computer software is capitalizable to an intangible asset? Punta ka dun sa DOG. Again, same concept yung i-apply natin. Coding and testing costs incurred after technological feasibility. Pag meron ng technological or also called technical feasibility, pwede na tayo mag-capitalize. For number 32, answer mo dyan is DOG. Number 33, a research and development activity for which the cost would be expense as incurred if. Alin daw dito class yung i-expense natin? Punta dun sa A. Modification of the design of a product or conceptual formulation. Nag-formulate pa lang tayo, which is basically research and design. Nagde-design pa lang tayo. Initial stage pa lang yan. Yan yung i-expense mo. Number 33, A yan. Sir, bakit yung B, C, and D? Bakit hindi sila expense? Basahin natin. Boy, troubleshooting in connection with breakdowns during commercial production. Commercial production yan. Meron ka ng inventory. So, tapos ka na sa R&D. Alright? So, operating expense na yan. OPEX. C, routine designs of tools. And D, engineering follow-through in an early phase of commercial production. Yung B, C, and D, meron ka ng commercial production. Ibig sabihin, yung expenses mo dyan, operating expenses. Hindi yan R&D, OPEX yan. So, yung A dito, yun yung R&D. Alright? Number 34. A research and development activity for which the asset would be expensed. Tingnan natin. Letter A din yung sagot natin dyan, class. Okay? Design and construction, testing of pre-production prototypes and models. Okay, so nasa R&D stage pa rin tayo, expense yan. Wala naman sinabing technological feasibility, expense. Yung B, C, and D, parang yung sa previous question, meron ng commercial production. Quality control during commercial production. Periodic design changes to existing products. Adaptation of existing capability to a particular requirement of customer need. Yung B, C, and D, operating expense yan. Hindi yan R&D expense. A for number 34. 35, which is not considered a research and development activity. O, ganun pa rin. A yung sagot mo dyan. Routine ongoing efforts to refine, enrich, or improve existing product. Nag-i-exist na eh. Inventory na yan, OPEX na yan, okay? Yung B, C, and D, R&D yan. Laboratory research, conceptual formulation, design construction, R&D expense yan, okay? A yung sagot natin for number 35. 36, which of the following is the proper treatment of the cost of equipment used in R&D activities? Ganito yung class. Okay, that will have alternative future use. Kapag gumamit ka ng equipment para sa R&D, yung depreciation ng equipment na yan, i-charge mo sa R&D expense. Ganun na siya. Kaya sagot mo dyan, number 36, letter C. Capitalized and depreciated over the estimated useful life. Okay, ganun yung treatment dyan. Sige, so, let's go to number 37. Okay. Which statement is incorrect? Tingnan natin. A, research is original and planned investigation undertaken with the purpose of gaining new scientific and technical knowledge. That's correct. B, development is the application of research. That's correct. C, expenditure and research should be recognized as expense. That's correct. Letter D yung incorrect dito. If an entity cannot distinguish research from development phase, the entity shall treat the expenditure as if it were incurred in the development. Mali. Research phase dapat. Dog for number 37. Ibig sabihin niyang class, kapag hindi mo alam kung anong activity ka na, under research ba or development, assume mo na research. Para expense siya. Okay? Para conservative tayo. Okay? So again, dog for number 37. 38. Operating losses incurred during startup years of a new business. Kapag nag-start pa lang yung business, obviously losses pa yan. Mas madami pa expenses than revenues. Hindi ka magka-capitalize ng intangible assets yan. Charge to expense yan. Or charge to losses lang yan. A yan, accounted for and reported like the operating losses of any other business. Okay? Huwag ka magka-capitalize ng intangible assets for, ayan, yung startups. 39. Startup costs including legal fees incurred to organize a new entity or organization cost. Pag-incorporate, yung mga ganyan. Again, i-charge mo lang yan sa expense. So for number 39, letter A din yung sagot natin dyan. Okay, so yan muna yung mga theory questions natin. Okay, so gawin natin class, move on tayo to the second type of intangible asset. Let's go to trademark. Sulat mo natin yung definition, later meron tayong example. So when you say trademark class, this is a symbol, okay, symbol, sign, logo, or name, okay, that is legally registered. Saan nire-register? Sa IPO. Okay, representing a company or product. Okay, so ito class ibig sabihin ng trademark. So again, symbol, sign, logo or name, legally registered, representing a company or product. For example, yung logo ni Jollibee, okay? Or yung logo ni McDonald's na pa-M. Okay, ano pa? Logo ni Facebook, TikTok, ni Google, yung mga ganyan, ni Apple. Yung logo nila, hindi mo basta-basta magamit yan. Okay? Kasi protected sila by trademark. Alright? So, ganun lang ibig sabihin nun. Now, ang ibang tawag lang sa trademark is brand name or trade name. Okay? Pag nabasa mo yan, trademark, trade name, brand name, magkakamukha lang ibig sabihin yan. Alright? Now, ito yung mga kailangan mong tandaan, class, pagdating sa trademark, sa accounting, no? Accounting for trademark. First, trademarks are not subject to amortization. Hindi yan subject to amortization. Bakit, sir? Kasi, class, according to the Intellectual Property Code of the Philippines, the legal life of the trademark is 10 years. Oh, sir, meron pa lang 10 years so bakit di mo siya i-amortize? Kasi, class, automatic renewal yan. Automatic renewal. Ibig sabihin, pag hindi mo ni-renew yung trademark mo, i-renew pa rin yan ni IPO. Parang ganun. Pag wala kang ginawang renewal, automatic renewed yan. So, since automatically na-renew siya, indefinite yung life niya. For intangible assets, pag indefinite yung life, hindi mo i-amortize. Okay? Later, babalikan natin yan sa pagdating natin sa impairment. Pero take note na lang, class, kapag indefinite yung life, such as yung trademark, well, i-subject natin yan sa impairment. Okay? Impairment testing every December 31. Okay. Sige. So, punta tayo, class, sa illustrative example number 3. Illustrative example number 3. This is about trademark. Tignan natin, class, yung mga journal entries para mas ma-appreciate natin. Pero same concept lang din, gagamitin natin as we learned from patent. Illustrative example number 3. Requirement is compute for the cost of the trademark and prepare the necessary journal entries. Illustrative example number 3. Okay. On January 1, 2025, CPA company acquired trademark. Binili natin. Uy, pwede i-capitalize yan. Purchase price yan eh. From ABC Corporation for total cost of 100,000. Other related costs incurred the following. Tignan natin, class, kung ano pa yung pwedeng i-capitalize. Number 1, cost of employees, benefits arising directly from bringing the asset to its intended condition or intended use. Kakapitalize mo yan? Yes, because it's a directly attributable cost. So, capitalize natin yung 10,000. Professional fees arising from bringing the asset to its intended condition. Capitalize. Intended use. Directly attributable cost. Cost of introducing the new product including advertising. O hindi na yan. Meron ka ng product ina-advertise mo na. So that's an operating expense or specifically advertising expense. So tingnan natin, class, yung journal entries natin. January 1, 2025, 100,000 plus 10,000 plus 5,000, 115,000. Debit trademark, TM na lang. Credit cash, 115,000. And then meron tayong debit advertising expense or OPEX, credit cash, 3,000. Okay? December 31, 2025, tingnan natin yung journal entry. For amortization, meron ka bang entry? Wala. Kasi trademark, if silent, not subject to amortization. So, no entry on December 31. Unless may estimate si management. Pwede rin yan, ha? Pag silent, hindi mo i-amortize. Pero pag may estimate si management, let's say, 5 years lang yung trademark niya, doon mag-amortize ka na. Okay? So, these are your journal entries for illustrative example number 3. Let's go to illustrative example number 4. On January 1, 2025, BSA company generated a trademark. Costs incurred after the capitalization criteria for development costs under PS 38 were met include the following. Ano ibig sabihin nun? After the capitalization criteria, ibig sabihin, nasa development stage tayo, na-meet natin yung strict requirements sa PS 38, pwede tayo mag-capitalize. Yun lang ibig sabihin niya. First, cost of materials and services used and consumed in generating the trademark. Kung sabi dyan, na-meet natin yung capitalization criteria, pwede yan. 50,000 plus cost of employee benefits incurred in generating the trademark, 10,000 plus fees to register the trademark. Obviously, filing na yan, registration, capitalize na natin yan. Plus, amortization of patents and licenses that were used to generate the trademark, capitalizable din yan. Again, bakit natin sir kinakapitalize? Kasi explicit sa problem. Cost incurred after the capitalization criteria. Explicit yan. So basically, sinasabi sa problem, pwede mo i-capitalize yung mga yan. Okay? Last, selling and administrative and other general. Hindi, OPEX yan. Okay, huwag mo i-capitalize yan. 50,000 plus 10,000 plus 5,000 plus 2,000. Okay, that's 67,000. Prepare natin yung journal entries. January 1, 2025. Debit trademark, credit cash, 67,000. Charge natin sa OPEX yung isa. Debit OPEX, credit cash, 30,000. December 31, wala naman sinabing useful life. So, ibig sabihin, not subject to amortization. No entry for the amortization. Okay. So, that's how you do illustrative example number 4. Jump tayo sa main problem number 2. Okay, so hanapin ko yun. Main problem number 2, this is about trademark. So, sagutan natin yung class. Okay, so main problem number 2. I-reason natin para may space tayo. Okay, main problem number 2. Question here is, okay, the cost to be capitalized as trademark. Basahin natin. Kislin Company developed a trademark to distinguish its product from those of its competitors through advertising and other means, etc. Okay, the following items are being treated as part of the cost of trademark. Tingnan natin. First item, Marketing research, okay, to study consumer taste. Pag research, expense yan. Huwag mo sasama sa trademark yan. Design cost of trademark, isasama mo na yan. Okay, because yung design cost, requirement yan ni Intellectual Property Office. So, ibig sabihin, filing na yan or registration of trademark na yan. Kasama na yan. Legal fees of registration, so kasama yan, obviously. Next, advertising to establish, advertising expense. OPEX yan, kung sasama yan. Registration fee, kasama? Yes. Plus registration fee, 50,000. Okay, so 1.5 million plus 150,000 plus 50,000, that is 1.7 million. Answer natin sa main problem number 2, letter A. Okay, that's letter A. So I think sa theory, meron tayong trademark na related dyan. Okay. Punta ka dun sa theory number 11. 11. A large publicly held company, nakita mo na yan? Theory number 11, a large publicly held company has developed and registered the trademark. How should the cost of developing and registering the trademark be accounted for? Well, ang sagot talaga dyan is hindi natin i-amortize. Okay, tingnan natin kung nasa choices. A, charge to an asset account that should not be amortized. Okay, so pwede yan. B, expensed as incurred. Alright. And then, C, amortized over 20 years if in accordance with the management's evaluation. And D, amortized over its useful life for 17 years. In 17 years, well, wala yan. Random lang yan. So, hindi yan tama. Actually, sa 11, ang pwedeng accept natin yung sagot dito, letter A and letter C. Bakit, sir? Tingnan natin yung A. So, again, bumili tayo ng trademark. O, nag-develop and nag-register tayo ng trademark. Kakapitalize natin yung registration. Pwede mong A yan. Charge to an asset account, trademark. That should not be amortized. Hindi naman natin i-amortize in general yung trademark. Unless, si management, pero siyang estimate na kung ilang years na tayo mag-benefit from the trademark. In that case, kailangan mo siyang i-amortize. Kaya pwede rin natin i-accept yung C. Amortize over 20 years if in accordance with management's evaluation. Pag tingin ni management, mag-benefit tayo from trademark for 20 years, amortize mo over 20 years. Okay? So, A and C, acceptable yan for number 11. Okay, so that's for trademark. Let's go to the third type of intangible asset, copyright. Okay, so sulat muna natin class. When you say copyright, this is an exclusive right, okay, given to authors, artists, composers, etc. Alright? So, ang applicable yung class, for example, sa mga books, songs, videos, mga ganyan. So, books. For example, yung author ng accounting books. Hindi mo pwedeng basta-basta ipa-photocopy yung books na tapos ibebenta mo. Hindi pwede yun kasi copyrighted yung books na yan. Alright? Ano pa example? Songs and videos. Kapag mag-upload ka sa, for example, YouTube, hindi ka basta-basta pwede mag-upload ng songs or videos doon. Kailangan i-attribute mo muna kung sino yung artist na kumanta doon or yung gumawa ng video na yun. Okay? Because copyrighted yung mga yan. Okay? So, yun yung example of copyright. Now, sir, ano mga kailangan namin tandaan for copyright? Well, copyright is subject to amortization. Ina-amortize natin yan. Paano natin siya i-amortize? Depende yan. Number 1 is, depende sa pattern of benefits. Pattern of benefits. And pag hindi natin ma-determine yung pattern of benefits, straight line method yung gagamitin natin. So, ulitin ko, for copyright, i-amortize natin yan. Paano natin i-amortize? May hierarchy yan. Depende sa pattern of benefits, or pag hindi natin alam yung pattern of benefits, straight line method. Okay? Sige. So, apply natin yung class. Let's go to our illustrative examples. Hanapin ko lang. For the copyright, that is number, okay, I think number 5 siguro. Okay, illustrative example, number 5. Hanapin ko lang class, ha? So, napunta illustrative example natin. Ito. For copyright, that is, okay, so hanapin ko lang sandali. So, nilagay yung copyright, number 5. Ayan. Illustrative example, number 5. Papakita ko sa inyo class kung ano ibig sabihin ng pattern of benefits. Okay. Prepare the journal entries. Mr. Accounting Company acquired the copyright to a book for 285,000. Binili natin. Pwede mo i-capitalize yan kasi purchase price yun eh. The copyright has a remaining legal life of 20 years. Sales of the book are estimated as, ito yung pattern of benefits. Nagsulat ka ng book, or binili mo yung copyright ng book, ito yung benefits mo. 2025, meron tayong 50,000 copies. Okay. 2026, meron tayong 30,000 copies. 2027, 10,000 copies. 2028, 5,000 copies. 50 plus 30 is 80, plus 10, 90, 95,000. Okay, so paano natin class i-amortize yung copyright na yan? Well, binili natin 285,000, tama? How much yung amortization natin? Allocate lang natin yan. So, 285,000 times 50 over 90, that is 158 ulit. So, 285,000 times 50 over 95 pala. 95 in total, okay? 150,000. Next, 285,000 times 30 over 95, that is 90,000. 285,000 times 10 over 95, that is 30,000. And then 285,000 times 5 over 95, that is 15,000. Okay, so yun yung amortization natin. Okay? Bakit sir? Kasi alam natin yung pattern of benefits. So let's provide the journal entries. Bumili tayo ng copyright, January 1, 2025. How much? Binili natin? 285,000. Debit copyright, credit cash, 285,000. December 31, 2025, debit amortization expense. Credit accumulated amortization. How much na-compute natin? 150,000. 2026, December 31, debit amortization expense. Credit accumulated amortization. That is 90,000. So, ganun din yung entry natin. For 2027 naman, 30,000 yung amortization natin. 2028, 15,000. Obviously, after 2028, zero na yung carrying amount of our copyright. What if walang pinakita sa atin na pattern of benefits? Dito kasi meron. Kung ilang copies yung mabibenta natin. Pag walang ganun, straight line method gagamitin mo. So, ilang years na nakalagay dyan? 20 years. So, ibig sabihin, 285,000 divided by 20. 285,000 divided by 20, 14,250 yung annual amortization mo kapag walang pattern of benefits. So, yun lang kailangan mo tandaan sa copyright. Copyright, subject to amortization. Pani priority mo, pattern of benefits. Pag wala, straight line method. Okay? So, that's how you do copyright.